Good afternoon, everyone. I don't know if anybody's even in here yet. I'm not seeing any on my end, but obviously it is delayed, so you probably are in here, and I just can't see you. But we are just going to finish up lesson 21, which was going into the derivatives, but more specifically the product rule. So I already went through a few examples yesterday, showing you guys the process of what we need to do. I'm going to do two more problems with you guys. One is going to show it with a negative exponent, and I'm going to show you guys one that has where you're multiplying three separate parentheses. So I'm going to start off with this first one because it's very, very, very similar to what we did yesterday. I just want to make sure you guys understand that just because it's a negative exponent doesn't make it more difficult. Okay, so as I go through this one, I'm going to do just like I did yesterday. The first part I'm going to represent as f of x, and the second part I'm going to represent as g of x. All right. So I have I got to change the line thickness. So I'm going to have f of x is equal to negative 3 plus x to the negative 3. And I guess I don't need the parentheses, so I don't know why I'm writing that down. I'm gonna do the derivative for it right now. And I'm going to say f prime x is equal to, well, the negative 3 has an exponent of 0, so that technically is going to disappear. And just because it's a negative exponent, it doesn't mean that we're going to solve that any differently. You're still going to multiply it by the coefficient out front, which in this case is 1. So we'll have negative 3x. And this is where you got to be careful because you have to subtract 1 from the exponent. If you do negative 3 minus 1, that means we're going to have negative 4 as our new exponent. So the derivative for this is just going to be negative 3x to the negative 4. And now I'm going to do g of x. So I have negative 4x cubed plus 3. Once again, I'm going to do the derivative. I can multiply the 3 by the negative 4, which would give me negative 12x. And this time we are subtracting 1 away, so 3 minus 1 gives us 2. Again, that positive 3 has an x to the 0 power, so it disappears. So after you do the derivative for both parts, we said that yesterday we can do something which I call the crisscross method. So you're going to take the derivative of the first and multiply it by the factor, or the second factor, and then you're going to take the derivative of the second and you're going to multiply it by the first factor. So after I multiply these out, I'm going to have, let's see here, I'm going to have negative 3x to the fourth. I'm going to multiply it by negative 4x to the third plus 3. And I'm just going to set it equal to, I'm going to have negative 12x to the third times negative 3 plus x to the negative 3. So now all I'm going to do is I'm going to multiply it through, and I'm going to see what this works out to be. So that's going to give me a positive 12x to the 7th, and it looks like it's going to be negative 9x to the 4th is equal to, why am I putting an equal sign there? I don't even know what I'm doing. I meant to put a plus sign there, and I wrote it as equals. Plus, if I distribute the next one, negative 12x to the third times negative 3 would actually be a positive 36x to the third. And if we multiply negative 12 times that positive x, it is going to be negative 12, and x to the third and x to the negative 3 will actually cancel out. And now we can just combine like terms if we need to, and it doesn't look like anything can combine here. So we are done. There's nothing to combine, so that would be the derivative of f of x, which is also known, and I said it yesterday, derivative means that it's just the slope. So we just found the slope of that function. Okay, so I'm going to jump down to exercise number 5. I'm going to show you guys the same steps, and like I said, I'm not seeing anybody today, so it must be everybody's going to be watching this on YouTube, so I'm just going to go right through it. If you have 3 pieces, the product rule doesn't work. So what my suggestion would be is, in order to solve this one, multiply the first 2 together first. So I'm going to multiply these together, and I'm going to get 12x to the 5th. And I'm just going to rewrite the second factor. Now that I have those 2 factors, I can use the same method that we've been doing all along. I can say f of x is equal to 12x to the 5th. And now I can do the derivative of that. So if I bring the 5 out, 5 times 12 would be 60. And I have to subtract 1 away to the 4th power. So I got the first part done. Now I'm going to do the second part. I'm going to have x cubed minus 2x squared plus 4x. If I go to do the derivative of this, it looks like I'm going to have 3x squared minus 4x plus 4. From here, I'm just going to do that crisscross method. So I have 60x to the 4th times x cubed minus 2x squared plus 4x is equal to 12. I keep putting equals in. I don't know what I'm doing. Plus, we'll have 12x squared, 5th, 12x to the 5th, times 3x squared minus 4x plus 4. And now all I'm going to do is multiply and figure out if I have to combine like terms. On the left side, I can multiply the 60x to the 4th and x to the 3rd, and I'll have 60x to the 7th. I can distribute the 2x squared, so I'll have negative 120. My pencil stopped writing. X to the 6. I'm hoping it's all still there. Any time now, bro. There it goes. 120x to the 6 plus 240x to the 5th. Now I got to do the next part. I'll have plus 12 times 3 would be 36x to the 7th minus 48x to the 6th plus 48. This time we do have a couple that will combine. We can combine the 60x to the 7th and 36x to the 7th, which would give us 96x to the 7th. And we can also combine the negative 120 and the negative 48, which would give us negative 168x to the 6th. And it looks like the rest I cannot combine, but I can just rewrite right next to it. So those are the only 2 that I had to show you guys today. So if you have 3 different sets, just multiply the first 2 together. Makes life a little bit easier for you. If you have negatives, just remember when you go to subtract the exponent, when you go to subtract it, it's negative 3 minus 1. So it doesn't become negative 2. You're really going to add them together and it became negative 4. Okay? So I'm going to leave you guys on that. Hit me up if you guys have any questions. Remember, no lesson on Friday. Other than that, enjoy your weekend, guys. I will see you on Monday.